I had, okay, this is a very strange one, and I hope, ladies, this is not to offend you, so don't, but this has to be one of the weirdest things that ever happened. These two ladies got off the cruise ship, and they were wearing very loose sweatshirts. And one of the ladies came up to me and said, "Sir, do you know the rules and ordinances of Catalina?" And I said, "They're basically the same as the mainland. We're part of Los Angeles County." Oh, by the way, somebody told me we could not be part of Los Angeles County because there's water between us. So they said that's impossible. You have water between us, you can't be part of Los Angeles County. And I said, well, okay, you better tell Mrs. Hahn that we're not part, Janice Hahn, that we're not part of Los Angeles County, because we are. Anyway, so so she said, you know all the rules and ordinances? And I said, well, I think I know most of them. She said, are men allowed to sit on the beach with their shirts off? And I said, yes. Are women allowed to sit on the beach with their shirts off or their tops off? And I said, well, not really. And so I was trying to come up with an explanation. She took her sweater like this, put it over her head. She said, what about thee? She had had a double mastectomy.
Ooh. Yeah.
So basically she had nothing. So that got me worried. So she went on. I called the sheriff officer at the time. I forgot his name. And I said, federal, I think it's federal, yeah. I said, we might have a problem. I said, when would your officers take ladies off of the beach or tell them that they had to leave if they had their top off? This is not a nude beach. And he said, well, why do you ask? I said, well, what would you do if the woman had no sexual organs to show? I said, you better keep this in mind. I said, I don't know about the Disability Act of whatever year that was. This may be covered in it. And if we would be the headlines of every newspaper in the world if your officers came and asked that person to be removed from the beach if she had no, so that was the weirdest, the weirdest one. I had one similar to that. I was, at this time I was on this, the pleasure pier. That was when they used to have the shore boats bringing them from the cruise ship to the pleasure pier. Now they have the old Catalina cruise boats to do it. So I was on the pier, and right across from me I could see a very interesting conversation going on. It was getting kind of heated. So they saw me on the other side with my big sign, ask me, can I help you? They said, he can answer that question. So I was ready to run as quickly as I could. So this elderly lady came over to me and she said, I need to get an answer. And I said, what? She said, my grandson just informed me that he has set up a kayak tour for us. I said, that's wonderful. I mean, good for him. But he tells me the kayaks have to go into the ocean. Is that true? Now, looking at this woman's face, I did not want to hurt her. So I looked up and said, God, please don't strike me down. This is definitely a big white lie, but I don't want to hurt her feelings, because obviously she's confused. I said, we used to do dry land kayaking, but it never caught on. So yes, we are now putting them in the water, hoping that we'll get more activity. So she has a big smile on her face because now she's been vindicated. She doesn't feel as stupid as they were making her, so she goes back. And after about 10 seconds, they all look at me and point, what? And so I'm grabbing my stuff, and and taking it off.
Maybe she's from Utah.
From Utah.
Yeah, they do sailing on the salt flats.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Well, believe it or not, I've been seeing on the internet, they do have mud kayaking, where they go down mud slides rather than the ocean. So in a sense, she was right. So I feel now, I don't feel quite so bad. I wasn't really lying to her, and she wasn't, and she came up with a very good question. Basically, is this going to be a mud kayak, or are we going to be on the ocean?
So she was happy with that answer.
She was very happy with that answer. I've been asked